What's good, Rave fam? You're tuned into Candy and Chaos, the unfiltered podcast for EDM lovers, festival degenerates, and anyone who lives for the drops. Even you normies out there.
We're your hosts, Deb with the Bev, and the silliest goose. And this is where the bass is loud, the stories are wild, and nothing, and I mean nothing, is off limits. Let's get into it, y'all.
Alright, so I figured today we could talk about time of year it is.
It's festival season.
Yeah, baby. Now, I will say this, as someone who's relatively new to the festival scene and the EDM scene in general, I am not experienced in it. I don't know much. I've been to one small festival. I know you have been to a lot more than me.
And the funniest part about all of this, I actually went and grabbed dinner with a friend yesterday, and at the end of last year, I was going through it, I'm not gonna lie, and I was planning on going out with a bang. EDC Orlando 2025 was supposed to be my last festival. I'm locked in for 4 festivals this year.
Yeah,
4 of them.
I know you have one coming up soon.
Yeah, big deal.
Yeah, which is going to be great. I know we were talking about you taking over the cast solo for that because I will not be attending.
I will follow along on the Instagram, TikTok, I think. I'm going to do a takeover for Beyond Wonderland. It's in California. I have only been to California once for Coachella. I'll talk on that in a little bit. I'm excited to go back. I'm going with my best friend and some of her friends. It's going to be a blast. It'll be my first time seeing Grizz. Grizz is back. So I'm stoked. I love festivals. I did my first, I think we talked about it in our first episode. I did my first festival in 2019. So this is like, I'm excited to get into it. We got big things to talk about. Festival essentials.
Oh yeah, just anything and everything to do with festivals.
Rave
everything
bass,
surrounding it, involved in it. It's good. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be an exciting episode.
It's gonna be a good episode.
Like I know myself, I'm only planning at the moment 2 big festivals this year, 1 small one.
Which we'll be attending together.
Yeah, 100% we will be there together. We will be bringing you all with us. You will be seeing us live. Well, not live, but you'll be seeing us from those festivals.
Who knows, maybe we do a live takeover for Forest.
Maybe we could. I know we got a lot of people interested in being talked to, so.
Yeah, we'll cast a vote on the Instagram. So make sure you're following that.
Yeah, speaking of Forest, like you said, I've been to 1 small festival in my life. I've been there twice. I've never been to a big festival before. I've never been to something that's been like a multi-day camp out, have to sit there. I've never traveled to a festival before. Tell me a little bit about like what your experience with that is.
So, I'm kind of a planner, I would say. So like my first one, I hopped on the wagon. I was ready to roll, and or my friend just asked me if I wanted to go. I bought a ticket. She'd already booked the Airbnb, so I just kind of sent the money. That's one way to do it, and it's great. If you have a type A person in your friend group, count on them. It's great. But I think that when it comes to festival, if you're going to do a festival, the best thing you can do is start in advance. Plan as much as you can as soon as possible. Because as things get closer, now this is based on my experience for traveling, like for EDC Orlando or Forbidden Kingdom. These are non-camping festivals. This will be my first year doing camping festivals, and I love camping, so I'm not really like too nervous about it, but I am excited.
Yeah, I know like one of the things when we committed to going to Forest together, like me never being to a big festival, I've never camped before in my life. So I definitely did decide to like lean on you and a few other people a little bit in that respect. So I mean like yeah, I could see how having people not only experienced but like you said type A people who are sitting there and are planners can be a great benefit for that. Like compared to like smaller festivals, like whether it's like a 1 or 2 day festival, something local where it could be like right down the street. It's just as simple as buying a ticket and showing up.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I guess sort of we can hop into like, I don't want to say like festival tips, but like this is kind of festival tips, but the big thing for me was like my first year we brought a car, and it was an added expense that like over the years I've kind of realized you can do without. A lot of festivals offer offer like a shuttle package, or even Uber. Like Ubering out is a little more difficult, but Ubering in isn't usually too bad. If you don't get dropped off at the festival, like a couple blocks, you can kind of. It's same with Breakaway and similar. Before I dive too much into the big festival experience, tell me how you went solo to Breakaway. So that's going solo to festivals is a big. It's so I've done that too, and it's so much fun. But tell me about your experience doing that,
so
and then
it was funny because I'm pretty sure I discussed in our first episode, like my first year doing anything, I decided to just full send Breakaway. I saw a couple of my favorite artists that got me into EDM and kept me into EDM on the lineup, and I was like, I can't miss it. I did try to find someone to go with me. It didn't end up working out because obviously we know there are a lot of people in the world who don't really love EDM.
Right.
And aren't really... there's a general view on the culture and the community that we're here trying to break. But some people tend to really try to stay away from that because of that perception. But I decided to full send it. It was nerve-wracking, honestly. Because like, it was my first festival. I've never been to a rave before. I've never been to a show before. So I was diving headfirst by myself into an entire community, an entire just world that I had no experience in. So I was very nervous. That first day, I was thankful. I met some good people, met some great people that I ended up just kind of like clicking with, hanging out with that first day. Unfortunately, the second day, because there are so many people that go to even small festivals, it tends to be hard to like run into each other. Even like I was talking to this one person on Snap the entire second day, trying to be like, hey, where you at? Like, let's try to meet up. The crowd was so crazy that like there was no way we were finding each other. But I ended up meeting some more great people.
Yes.
And I ended up sitting there and was at the rail for Millennium and had a fantastic time with them. It was a great opportunity. It was a great experience. And one that, even doing solo, it made me feel like I was on a path that I wanted to continue and explore. And that's what started my journey. Now, outside of, I know you said your first fest was in 2019, where you just like full sent and had no clue what was going on. What was that experience like for you going through that? Because that must have been...
I had no idea what to expect. Like, I think I had just, like, was listening to EDM, but it's so different than, like, being involved in a rave or in a show or in a festival. So I believe I had gone to Millennium the month prior. So that was, like, probably one of my first real shows, and I went with people that were 20 and I was 22. So like it was already kind of like I didn't really drink or anything. I wasn't I mentioned on this briefly, I was sober raved for several years. And so I went to the show and like nobody really talked to me at the Millennium show. Like it was cool, made it to the rail for like I saw Dabbin said this guy Annika Wells Millennium, and that was sick. And then they were at Millennium was also at EDC. So I went, I didn't really... It's insane because the festival version of Dev that I am now is completely, like, baby rave Dev. Like, I was in the back. All my videos are from, like, the very back, like, hundreds of people back. Like, I never got immersed in the crowd. I didn't trade candy. I got my first cuff, but I didn't really know much about it. I ordered a couple basic outfits off of iHeart Raves. Didn't know any pasty tricks, so my pasties fell off the first 10 minutes I was there. It was hot. I didn't have a hydration pack. I had fun. It was fun, but looking back, I had no clue what I was doing, and it was obvious.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think that starting off like that first festival you went to, because like even looking back at like where I was in that first festival, like just the way I dress, the way I act, the way I interact with people are completely two different people. You've been in it for a lot longer. I know you said for years you were a sober raver. That's where I'm at now. Like outside of maybe 1-2 drinks, I don't touch, I don't do anything. I know a few people that are similar in that respect, but I feel like especially at festivals, like you definitely find a lot more people that might sit there under the influence of something. And it's not all bad. It's not all bad stuff.
I do, as someone that has attended a few of them, I feel like it's almost like a safer space. To touch on what I was saying is, anytime I've seen someone having a negative experience or like in that kind of situation, people have stopped like, hey, are you okay? Do you need some water? Like, even at shows, like there's been instances where we've seen someone having a bad experience and I've turned around and like offered gum, offered water.
Well, yeah, for sure. So the last show we just went to, I had to deal with that right next to me. It was
So I think that there's like almost like it feels like it's a like okay place to do it, and that's where it happens more at festivals because I'm not saying that's a reason to do so, but I do think that
will also say there's a big difference between experiencing it and abusing it.
Yes.
And I feel like that's where there's a very clear line of like there are certain people who go there to like enhance their experience through these things, and some people need that, and that's perfectly fine. I have no judgments on that. But there are definitely people who do abuse it a little bit.
And go there
or go to these things as an excuse just to do these things. And sometimes those people can definitely kill a vibe.
Agreed.
that like otherwise, because it can get scary. Like I've had experiences of people who definitely like took it a little bit way too far to the point like I've had to call security over to be like, hey, I don't think this person's okay. They might need some help. They're definitely a lot bit out of it. Try to offer them water, they're rejecting it, they're denying it, they're not accepting help, and it could become a scary situation.
Exactly.
But like you said, the community that we have is definitely one that cares. It cares, and they want to take care of everyone. They want to make sure everyone's having a good time. And that's one of the reasons why I got so immersed in it so quickly. Because it's a beautiful thing to have around you.
I agree. You touched on security, and I think that that's a big thing to talk about too. I have, over the years, I've done EDC for several years, and I talked about this before. I made friends with the security. Like, it's the same security often works these events, and I think that they do a good job of, nobody wants anything bad to happen on their watch. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, if you're having an issue, this is the probably one of the top things I can give as advice for someone going to a festival. Grab that security guy, grab that officer. They are not there to arrest you for doing drugs. They're not there to cause havoc. They are there to help. Like 110%. If you need water and you're at the rail close enough to a security guard, ask them for water. They do have cases of water, or they will find a way to get you water take you out.
A lot of shows that I've been to, a lot of the venues, they will have cases of water on the other side of the rail just because they understand. It is hard to move through a crowd, especially later on in the night. Mm-hmm. It is impossible to get back, and you do end up feeling a little bit dehydrated, especially when you're having a lot of fun and you kind of like lose track of. You
forget.
Yeah, you definitely forget
to eat. You forget to drink. You know, it's you're just in one mode and it's go mode.
Exactly, go mode. It's all go mode, man, and it's. Don't get me wrong, like I have a great time,
yeah.
But there are definitely times where I'm sitting there and after like 3 hours of nonstop going, I'm like, security, give me some water, please help me, man.
I'm looking around like, who got a water? Who got a hydration pack? Who got a hydration pack? I need it.
You know, it's part of it though. I mean, like the fact that you get so lost in it in and of itself, that's why it's
part of the magic of it.
It's part of the magic, but it's also why it's good to have people around you that you can trust, people that care in general, just because you know that even if they don't know you, they're gonna look out for you.
So you're only prone to or known to small festivals. What, and you said you're only probably going to 2 this year. What big festival, out of all the ones you've seen, what's your dream? Like which one is your, like, if you had unlimited budget, unlimited time, schedule, what's your top 3? Where are you going?
Is time travel permitted?
No.
Damn.
We'll go 2026, 2027.
All right. So, I know this year I'm checking off 2 of my biggest ones, which is Electric Forest and Lost Lands.
Mm-hmm.
Like Electric Forest, just being the amount of sets I've seen on YouTube of in the forest, it goes so crazy. It looks so beautiful. The amount of things around, like it's something that I've been wanting to do for a couple of years now. And after the lineup drop, I was like, "There's no way I'm missing out on this one." So I'm full sending that.
That
definitely.
one stage that's in the middle of the woods, and like you can like there's the, I believe one year said this guy played a piano there like for somebody's wedding, and you know what I'm talking about? It's like the tree trunk. I believe. Levity played there.
Yeah, the Levity was the
That's
first set.
That's the one where I'm like, that sold me. 2 years ago, I believe, or last year. I believe it was 2014 or 2024. And I was like, oh, this is like, I have to do it. And
yeah, Levity's set in that on that stage was the first forest set I ever saw.
Yes.
And it immediately was like, I need to be there.
Yes,
like, I need to be there.
I just know, like the at-home feeling you feel, like I said, when I did EDC Orlando. And that was the first, it was a first for me. Like, I didn't know anything. I wasn't sure about anything at all. But, like, as soon as I got there, I knew I loved it. I wanted to be back there again. I wanted to immerse myself. COVID hit, so we didn't have, like, festivals really again. I didn't immerse myself back in until 2021. And when I went in 2021, I was at the rail all weekend. And that alone is a whole different experience.
Oh yeah, that's a whole nother thing that we're gonna talk about. Is just, I know personally, like I love being at the rail.
Yes.
I live for the rail.
Yes.
It is the place I feel at home. I feel safe. I feel like I have the most fun there. Secondary, I love being in the pits. Pits are just fun. Like it's not like, I know we have a lot of friends who have came over from a more metal scene, or more of a rock and roll scene where it's like, people are throwing elbows, they're kicking, they're throwing punches. An EDM pit is the most respectful yet aggressive thing I've ever seen.
Do you remember just last weekend, we went to a Shrek rave. 10 out of 10 would recommend for the first hour and a half. Okay.
Or for first timers who, don't have experience in the scene. It is definitely a less intense.
Let's put it this way. It was 18 plus, and I firmly believe all the grown-ups left and were in bed by probably about midnight. Just the vibe it was giving. Yeah. However, they don't know who decided to do it, but they started a baby little mosh pit there. I remember looking at this little mosh pit and looking at the security guards and just laughing because I'm like, is this for real? But there was this couple girls that fell, or maybe it was Excision. I don't know where it was.
There was a baby mosh pit at the Shrek rave, definitely. I do remember you, because I remember you, I was kind of like just jamming out, having a good time. You definitely did kind of tap me on the shoulder and be like, dude, me and the security guard are laughing at this little baby mosh pit. But the one at Excision,
I watched people fall, essentially, and immediately everything stopped. They picked them up and then just went back to it. And that's what I'm saying.
That has been my general experience with EDM mosh pits. It's a safe mosh pit where it's like, you will get pushed. There are times, like, I myself have been, like, accidentally, like, kicked in the knee, like, taken out. And it's, regardless, like, everyone, as aggressive as it gets, without throwing punches or elbows or kicks, everyone knows that everyone's trying to have a good time, and they're going. Right. If someone falls, no one wants to see anyone get hurt. No one wants anything bad to happen, so they do definitely sit there and try to like hold things off for a second, make sure everyone can get up, get back in, everyone's okay, and get back into it.
Exactly.
And that's part of why, like I said, my secondary place in a rave environment is definitely the mosh pits for that reason. But I know, on the other end of the spectrum, there are people that I know you have turned into a bit of a wanderer, a little bit of a side quester. Tell me about that, because that is not something I have experienced personally.
So I think this comes a little bit in part with like attending things solo. You know what I mean? I was very much a stick to the group kind of girl. But like I said, I was also very new to this. So I've gone to events, but I've even gone to shows or raves by myself. Like I've gone to events by myself and I've gone with groups. I love both. There's a pros and cons to both sides. I do think that when you go with a group, it's definitely a lot easier when you have a lot of the same tastes and the same like I tend to be more passive when it comes to things. So like it's easy for somebody to be like, oh, like let's do this, and yeah, no problem. You know what I mean? But I started doing like local raves by myself and kind of like made friends as you make friends as you go wherever you're at.
For sure.
And I kind of realized, you know what? I could do this by myself. I could totally do this. So in 2024, I did EDC Orlando solo, 100% solo. My friends kind of the last minute were like, yeah, I'm not going. I'm like, oh, well, whatever.
You're like, have fun, I'm still going.
I'm still going to go. So, and that is just a giant side quest, I realized. You know what I mean? It's like, you have to go out, you go off, you make friends, you do whatever. It's scary because it wasn't scary for me. And the reason it wasn't scary for me is because I had done it so much, and like I said, like, I had been sober for most of it, and I was like the rave mom. Like, I took a couple of friends for their first time. So over like the past years I had gone. So like I had a lot of experience showing people where things were. So like I knew where everything was to like find it on my own. I knew how to like budget for it because I had been doing this for so long. So I would say I wouldn't recommend doing your like first one solo, but like once you got a little bit under your belt, heck yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I will say for like a smaller festival, it's not as bad to go solo or even just like a local show, because one, you're local, two, like we talked about, it is a safe community that looks out for each other.
Yeah.
So as long as you don't go to a house show. If you go to a house show, you're on your own. But
you're in a zoo. It's a bunch of noise.
But going to a show or going to a smaller festival locally solo, it's definitely one way to dip your toe in the water.
To answer your side quest question, I can't help it. I just get there, and sometimes I just like, you just feel a pull, okay? Like you feel a pull to go off, and I love people. I love meeting people. I am a trinket candy queen. Like I like to trade things. I love to make perlers and give them to people. So like I just feel like sometimes I'm locked in. It's an artist I really love, or like it's like music that I really need, and I'm locked in on the music. And other times I just feel drawn to go anywhere and everywhere. And sometimes I'm just walking off and standing in a different spot because the music feels different somewhere else. But I like to explore, and the side questing at festivals is different. So like one year I saw Madrota at Corona Beach, R.I.P. Corona Beach, because it's no longer a stage. And now Madrota plays main stages, and we'll be at Beyond, actually, playing one of the main stages.
Yeah, I mean...
So I do think that it has its benefits. I've heard there are a lot of different tools for, like, people who go off in side quests, and I'd love to, like, look into them, because service is so bad at festivals. So like, texting and like finding me being a side quest person, it's more or less expect to find me. Like, let's set up a meeting spot for several hours, like hours in advance, or like let's meet here at the end of the night because you probably won't find me.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the things that I'm a little nervous about going to my first big festivals. Is just like, when you're going solo, and like that's one of the things is like when I'm at the festival, and I'm just like, okay, there's gonna be conflicts between different DJs. So obviously, whoever I'm going with or whoever I'm there with, whatever friends that might be in the area, there's no guarantee that I'm gonna be with them. So I could just very well end up being at some of these sets alone. So having a meeting place or like a set time, like you said, where it's like, okay, at this time or at the end of the night, let's make sure we're meeting at this spot. It's definitely important to have. But that's also a big part of like the difference between going to these things solo or going with a group. Is one, you might have that safety net of, okay, I have this group that I'm going with. You might be able to enjoy some of the sets with them, but when there is conflicts, you do end up kind of as like a solo raver trying to figure things out on your own, which in and of itself, from my experience going solo, sometimes I do get a little bit lonely in the crowds, like especially when you're in a big crowd, you don't know anyone, everyone else like kind of just vibing, and you're just kind of sitting there all awkward and clammed up. It can definitely be a little bit of a negative experience for going solo. Have you ever experienced anything like that going solo, where you just like feel a little bit lonely, and you just kind of...
So I did. I couldn't tell you the artist. But I went to, it was a show, it wasn't a festival, but I went alone and I didn't know anybody and I was very nervous. Like I definitely, like the openers, I was standing there kind of like, and then this girl was like, are you by yourself? And I was like, yeah, and she goes, me too, and then we kind of like vibed the rest of the night.
Yeah, no, that's...
So it's like, you're almost like, it's like a bat signal. And the friendliness, it kind of just like invites people. They like, when you're solo, like, you could be solo and be me, and you're just extroverted. Easy. Extroverted and whatever. Or you're that shy person, and like I said, people just kind of know and gravitate towards you, and it makes it easy to not... You just kind of lose that and let it go. But
yeah, no, like I said, at my first festival that I went to, I had similar experience where you just kind of like hanging out alone, and you know, you find people find you, and you just kind of end up making friends. Some of the friends that I've made, like I don't even know their names, never got their contact information, probably never see them again.
Yeah.
The first show I went to solo, the same thing that happened to you kind of happened to me, where it's like I'm sitting there solo, I'm kind of by myself. Some random guy was like, hey, are you here alone? I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, me too. And we kind of ended up vibing a little bit. Ended up meeting another girl that was solo. So we kind of made our own little group in the show just for the night. It was a lot of fun. It ended up enhancing the experience, being able to meet new people through the act of going alone. So it's definitely something that it has its pros and cons for sure. It has those little awkward moments, but definitely can end up being a very good experience.
I agree. Alright. Festivals. A big thing, I think, is kind of like, this is like a hot seat kind of thing, a hot take. So a big thing is that like festivals have been getting oversold, and like the festival goers are saying this was a crowd surge, but then you have like the people, the CEOs, and like, that's not a crowd surge, this is really what happened. And like, it's caused a little bit of like kind of like frustration, I think, in the festival world, where it's like people want to stop, like a big reason why I don't want to do EDC Orlando anymore is because I feel like it's so like the last like couple years it's been like so crowded to the point where it's not even like enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really speak too much of that. I know of the company that you are speaking of. I've heard a lot of things. I mean, I understand that as a company, you're trying to make as much money as possible, and that can tend to be by overselling. But at the same time, at a lot of these festivals, especially the bigger ones, unless you have a set limit of tickets, where it's like, okay, we do not want more than X amount of people attending, you're in a wide open space. You don't know what's gonna happen, you know? So it's like...
But here's the thing, right? Is like, and especially with said company, and you could really use this for like any festival, potentially. They've grown over the years, you know what I mean? Like, even Electric Forest, the price went up this year because it over the last 2 or 3 years, it's definitely become more popular. Like, it's been there for a long time. Lost Lands is another one that's the same. EDC Orlando as well has grown immensely. Like, and it has grown probably too big for where it's at. And without expanding the grounds, you've made changes, but you're still like, you're putting out, like, selling more tickets, but not expanding your area.
I definitely think
And that's I think where a big issue has come is like, the interest is growing, and for festivals, the interest, and especially EDM as a whole, I saw this last year. EDM in festivals, even mainstream festivals like Coachella. Like last year, I believe the ratio it was like 56% of the artists performing at Coachella were EDM artists. I believe this year it's like 70 in the 70s.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I think that like they are noticing and realizing that they're growing, but without making these changes that they need to make, it's not making things enjoyable, and it will cause people to not do it. Or maybe it's a strategic thing to get them to attend other events. You know, like
yeah. I mean, like I know EDC. They're putting up an event in Thailand this year. Obviously, Mexico's I think
Mexico.
it just happened. Or
I believe this is the second one, and it just happened, and it was huge.
So I feel like it could be a strategic thing to be like, hey, we understand that this is overselling, but we're putting up these other events. Maybe explore some of those to try to spread out the.
EDC Colombia was their first year this year.
I feel like that it could be along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't have the experience to know of like, oh, this is how things were in 2019 versus 2026.
It was just nice to have like as an East Coast festival goer. There's not a lot going on for us. Insomniac is like huge on the West Coast. Like most of the clubs, like how we have our like Big Night Live, Royale, all those things. Insomniac runs a lot of their venues, so it's like easier. It's almost easier to be a raver on the West Coast. You have Seattle, you have like Denver's more middle, but like you have California, huge EDM scenes over there. And here it's not like you have to like Florida is where Insomniac puts on all their events. New York used to be a big one, but there's no scene like there's a scene in New York, but there's not like not a lot of the big companies put on. Like shout out to John Summit for putting stuff on out here. He does what in Virginia, New York.
I mean, I know we have 7 Stars that's coming up here.
Yeah, that's Virginia.
A couple smaller festivals
but
like up in Maine and
EDC Orlando is a big one for me because it's something on the East Coast, and it used to be reasonable. I used to go for like under. I think the first time I went, I only spent $600 to go, and it's become like going to one of these bigger festivals that are 4 days and camping and. I
mean, EDC Orlando has grown in and of itself, and I feel like that kind of attributes a little bit more to the cost of everything. Not only that, but unfortunately, from a business standpoint, as these DJs, as they get the bigger name DJs and the DJs become bigger names in and of themselves, they do command more of a price to sit there and at times attend and perform at these festivals because they know they're a draw. They know they're coming to see me. They're not coming just for the festival. They're coming to see me because my name is on that lineup.
Right, exactly.
And that in and of itself can cause the prices of everything to go up. Not to mention, I mean, granted, again, I haven't been to a lot of these festivals, so I don't know, but I can only imagine the production that they put on in 2019 versus 2025 probably has grown a little bit, probably is more expensive, especially with the way things are going in general in the world. Things do get more expensive, so as things get more expensive, someone has to pay for it.
Exactly, you're right.
So it's like I understand from that perspective, but at the same time, I do also understand from our side of it, it sucks. It sucks to sit here and be like, I want to go have this amazing experience with a lot of amazing people, and then sit there and be like, okay, I can't afford $500, $600, $700, not only just for the ticket itself. Not to mention, like you said, as East Coast ravers, we don't have a lot going on here, so we have to travel. We have to sit there and find accommodation. Even if we camp at these places, it's like you have to pay for all of that regardless.
Exactly.
So it definitely does add up, and it definitely does kind of put a hindrance and put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. And I can understand it from that perspective too. But unfortunately, as America goes, there's not really much we're going to be able to do about it. Hopefully it does change, though. Hopefully it does get better. Hopefully these companies do listen.
I really just want to get like more stuff going on over here.
Yeah, I would love that. Trust me, I would love. That's one of the reasons why I'm so thankful for a production like Breakaway, who does travel around and put things on, because like they do make stops all over the place, and for a place like Massachusetts that really has nothing outside of like if you want to drive down to like Pennsylvania,
Right.
Virginia, go down to Florida, maybe a couple of the smaller fests that are up in like New Hampshire or Maine.
Yeah.
There's nothing really here, so that is why I am thankful for a production like Breakaway, who does bring something to us, even if it is a lot smaller, even if it is, you know, only 2 days versus like some of these bigger, longer festivals. But it's something, and it's showing that the community is here.
One thing we do pop off on is our little jam band festivals.
Yeah.
A little like, you know, Wormtown or Strange Creek.
Mm-hmm.
They New England does do pretty well with those in Maine,
Mm-hmm.
out west out here, and I have yet to experience one. I do have a couple of friends that have gone to them, and I've only heard good things.
I have heard a lot of good things as well from the same friends.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know if it's my vibe. It might be a little too wookie for me, but I think that's like something like it was I forget what the Homie Camp Out Collective.
yeah.
Riot 10 played, and if I had not previously booked a camping trip, I had wanted to do that.
Yeah, I did. I've heard a lot of good things about the Homie Collective. As you said, it might be a little bit too Wookiee for me too. Like, no disrespect to the Wooks out there. We love y'all, but it's definitely a lifestyle in and of itself. It is it is. Like, granted, I'm not gonna say I'm a glamper in any respect. Like, I'm not saying I'm gonna go that far, but like the Wook lifestyle in and of itself is not one that I would say I am drawn to. I have some friends that are Wooks, great people, awesome friends, but it's just not me. I have noticed, I've heard a lot of stories about like how Lost Lands is very much raver centric. Like, you're gonna find a lot of good, solid, actual rave people there, but
they call it Rave Disneyland. Or yeah, Dino Disneyland. Yeah.
But like, I've also heard things like EDCO. I know just purely off of the hype that Coachella is. I know like things like Tomorrowland, all these big festivals very much seem to have become influencer centric.
Yes.
And that, I feel like I don't like. I wanted to go to EDCO last year. I was planning on going this year, but after the stories I've heard, after just like how influencer centric I've heard it has become, it's such a, it makes me not want to even come close. It makes me not want to even take the chance on going to these festivals.
And I think that's what makes it hard. Like, so, and I touched on it briefly in our previous episodes, but EDC Orlando, I think that's a huge way that it's evolved. Is like TikTok specifically, I think has just, it's like ruined the rave culture a little bit. I think that we're starting to kind of like evolve in a way that like we're taking it back, but like also keeping like finding a good balance. But I do think that that's a big reason why EDC has started to kind of shift into like a more negative experience. Coachella, I do like that there's 2 different weekends, and like more commonly weekend 1 is like when the celebrities are there, the influencers are there. And I liked that. I went weekend 2, so it was nice because there probably was still influencers there. I literally saw Sullivan King like walking through the crowd like a normal person with his. He is normal, but like he's not. In our world, he's A-lister.
Yeah, he's
so
like,
I'm wearing his jersey. His jersey's signed on my wall. Like, I love the dude. So he like, there was obviously still people, you know what I mean, there, but like, it wasn't like I feel like in that situation it was like people have their phones out to record like all the videos you see of like so I think I enjoy that Coachella has that option. It was also cheaper. But
that's because it's cheaper because they know that celebrities are there.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people, especially like you said, with the rise of TikTok and social media especially over the past few years, going to a lot of these raves, especially in places like like Ultra in Miami, EDC,
I will never
Coachella,
do Ultra, ever.
There's become this like
Don't quote me, because I probably will do Ultra.
I will be doing Ultra eventually, so she will be with me, don't worry. But even just outside of, like, just going for the experience, it has definitely become one of these places for just people to sit there and be like, oh my god, look at where I'm at.
I do feel like work events, or, like, events that are, like, okay, great example. Excision, John Summit, and Millennium. You've got Ember Shores, you've got Lost Lands, and you've got Experts Only. Those are all events put on by DJs. I think they just, like, tend to have a little more success or be a little bit more, like, curated and better for ravers, because it's almost like curated by ravers for ravers. Whereas, like, other companies, Advent Garden or Garde, whatever, the one in New York that shut down, put on Izu and whatnot, like, it's more of a business. You know what I mean? Like patenting Plur. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I do think I'm leaning more towards things like that. Forest is still an Insomniac event, and I'm curious to see, like, the difference between a camping event versus one you have to travel for, book accommodations for. But I do think that I'm a little bit more excited for those raver-led events.
Yeah, I mean, that's valid. I mean, I will say, like, despite the fact that Insomniac does run eForest, I've still heard so many good things about it regardless, that it's like, that's why, like I mentioned, like, it's like, I feel like there's two sides to every story, honestly. Obviously, from our side of it, a lot of people kind of, like, stick to their guns or stick to their community side of it. But I feel as if, for the most part, when it comes to these WOOK events versus, like, influencer events, it's just the crowd itself just kind of, like, very much influences how things go. Personally, I would lean more towards the WOOK events, just because I feel like you get a better community, you get a more caring crowd, everyone's just kind of on that same level or same vibe as you. So I'll be real, like, we go feral, we go crazy, we go absolutely bananas. But at some influencer events, I feel like they're like, you do that, you're acting yourself, you're being yourself, and you're definitely gonna get those looks like, the fuck is wrong with these people? It's like, dude, you're dressed like us, but you're not like us, you influencer ass motherfucker, get away.
Right. It's like my culture and my. And as people of color as well, like, it's a big thing. It's like my culture, what I do for my freedom, enjoyment, like, what brings me peace is not, it's not entertainment. Like, this is like where I go to, like, recharge, reset, and, like, for
definitely.
someone else it might not be their type of experience, and that's kind of where,
I think that's the difference between, like, the Wooks and, like, that whole community, and, like, our community and the influencer community.
Even just, like, ravers
the,
and non-ravers.
The influencer community, it's very much image. It's very much, oh my god, look at where I'm at, look at what I'm doing, oh my god, look at me. Whereas for, like, ravers and Wooks and people of, like, our community, it's more of, like you said, it's a place to go to recharge, a place to go to release, to relax. Like, even though it's weird to say, but going freaking absolutely nuts and bananas for 4 hours at a show, it relaxes the hell out of me. It's definitely a way to de-stress. Like, it's self-care. It's more self-care, and it's more love, and it's more like we get to express who we truly are, as opposed to the image that it puts on. But I mean, and I think that leads into kind of like the perception of what the rave community has become as well, because, like you said, with TikTok and with Instagram and all these other platforms, the perception of the rave community definitely has had some fluctuation, especially recently, because when it comes to these influencers, you see one side of it where it's like, oh my god, look at this glamorous event. Like, oh my god, look at this glamorous production. But that's not all it is. And then you have, like, the deeper dive into it, where you see, like, the negative parts of it, where you do see the people who, like we talked about earlier, who do go to, like, just to take substances or just to get fucked up. And that's not, like, what I consider, like, the real community or the real, like, rave lifestyle. For me, it's very much kind of like, it's in the middle, really, where it's like, yeah, there are people who go and use substances to enhance their experience. And mind you, a lot of those substances are at times legal. But it's very much just about like enjoyment. Like me and a couple of my friends, we got caught a couple of times that when we went to Excision, where it was just like we just look up, we see lasers, and we just go dumb. We're just like, oh my god, lasers! Like the production itself is fantastic. The music is fantastic. It all culminates in like this one instance of just absolute release
Exactly.
and bliss. And that's part of why, like, when it comes to like WOOC events, like the Lost Lands, like like you said, John Summit's, Millenniums, like all these different shows that are more geared towards ravers. That's why I feel like those are definitely a great environment and community-driven events, as opposed to things like EDC Orlando, EDC Las Vegas, to an extent E-Forest, Tomorrowland, and what that has become over the past decade. And so, like,
You mentioned Tomorrowland. Let's brush on that a little bit, because a big thing that I've heard about too is the difference between raving in the United States versus raving in Europe. And like, I think a lot of that comes from like it's a larger like techno tech house kind of scene out there. But it's like I there's two festivals that I've like are on my list, but I'm nervous to do, and I'll tell you what they are, and I'll tell you why. One of them is Ultra. And Ultra, I'm scared because it's the start. Ultra kicks off festival season.
mm-hmm.
It's huge. It's in Miami. Miami's a party place. It's during spring break. It's that is like it frat party central to me. And that's like it's a big fear for I believe it would be a really fantastic time, but I just think that it's too much of a party for me. And that's where so that's one, Ultra. I probably will never do unless some.
I will tell you guys again. She's coming with me. Don't worry, guys.
It's not like I would love to do Ultra, but it definitely is like.
I understand your concerns. I mean, I will say like my thoughts on going to Ultra definitely gear more towards go with a group that's gonna stick together.
Yeah.
Because at least that way it's like you're gonna be safe. You're gonna have a good time with your people. It's easier to enjoy when you're an unfamiliar or a generally scary or nervous environment when you're with a group of trusted people that you know. So I mean, like I would say, if we were to end up going, I would say we would probably end up going with a group of people that we were familiar with and that we were trusted. Yeah.
And then the other one is Tomorrowland, and that's just because, just everything I've like read or like heard about it with like raving in Europe is they're just not like. They're not free. It's not like a free spirited. Like they're very to their own. They don't dance too much. Maybe they do. Like again, but like they're just. It's a lot of black. They're not like into the whole like rave outfits and such. And that's. I hope Tomorrowland is different because it's a lot of traveling and like people coming from other places. But like doing a European festival does make me a little nervous because I'm very bright, colorful, animated, and like I've just been hearing it's not that.
I mean, I will. So.
They're a little more judgmental too.
Funny enough, one of my good friends actually invited me to Tomorrowland this year.
Wow.
And unfortunately, I can't make it.
Yeah,
so I had to turn it down. Yeah, it is a commitment. Unfortunately, I had to turn it down. But from everything I've seen, like the production looks absolutely bananas. Some of the pictures I've seen, the outfits, like you definitely get a mix of what you were talking about, where it's like a little bit more conservative. But there's definitely I've seen a lot of outfits that are definitely pretty wild. So I will say like I feel like it's a little here or there. But I also will say one of my good friends who recently moved out to Europe, so she's been raving around Europe and things like that. She has definitely made it known that it is definitely a big difference between raving in America. Like it is a big difference. It is very opposite side of the spectrum. So I understand that. I will say that it is something I would love to experience.
I agree.
I would love to have just to experience that, like exactly, Belgium.
Right.
Just being there, being in a completely different place, in a different environment, different experiences, different people.
I still think I could go there and be
around.
myself.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, of course. I mean, that's one of the big things about this community in general is it's very accepting. And I feel like that's not a localized thing or focused on just in America,
Yeah,
where that type of community travels. And so I feel like even at Tomorrowland, yes, you might get some of that influencer-driven, like, imagery, but I feel like it also is very much community because you're going to have a lot of ravers from around the world who want to go and want to have that experience as well. But, I mean, it's also been a festival that's been around for God knows how long.
I'll figure it out. I'll put a little something in.
Yeah. But it's definitely something that's been around for a while. So it's like it keeps going for a reason, you know. Mm-hmm. And I feel like if it did fall off more towards that like influencer poser thing, like it definitely wouldn't be what it still is. But the one thing I do see a lot when it comes to things like Tomorrowland, even EDCO, a lot of these bigger festivals, totems.
Oh, the great debate. The great debate.
Like, I feel like it's such a bittersweet instance of fantastic totems, fantastic signage, but in the middle of a crowd, being behind it has to be so annoying.
It's such a love-hate relationship. I've seen some pretty rad totems. Like, there's someone, I'm trying to remember if it's Nate, don't quote me on it, has a woolly perler, and it's a totem. It's like completely made out of perler fuse beads. It might be, I can't remember if I saw it at ADC or if someone local has it. But it was one of the coolest things I've seen. And that is about head size, and that's not, like, too inconvenient. However, like, you have your people that are bringing, like, their fraternity flags, or, like, decorative flags, which, again, are some of them are really funny. So when you're with a group, I feel like totems it's great. Like, you know, they stand out in the crowd. It makes it very easy to spot someone. Like, even if your group didn't bring their own totem, there's so many times I've been like, hey, I'm next to this one, and then they like meet me at this totem, and then like you're able to find your spot from there. So like great for that, but again, like inconvenience of location, or like be mindful when you're making or creating your totems that like there are people around you, there are people behind you. You feel me?
No, I do. I mean, I will say, like, I agree. Like, if you're gonna bring a totem into a crowd, it's great. There are a lot of them that I've seen that are very funny, that are very interesting, very creative, which is fantastic. But you have to be mindful of the people around you, obviously. Like, festivals get very packed. They get very crowded. You have a lot of people in the back that are trying to see the stage, see the production, see what's in front of them. Like you said, you have this beautiful picture. The last thing anyone wants is while you're sitting there enjoying that view is to see anything in front of you. Like, it kind of like, it changes the whole vibe.
Totems, shoulder rides.
But I will say, totems are great for finding your home base, finding your campsite. Like, just having something that, like you said, it sticks out. It stands out in a crowd. It stands out in an environment. And it's definitely a way to navigate. And especially when you're with a group of people, when you're not solo. It's a great way to navigate.
Coming up with the idea, like, building the totem, it, like, all of that it's fun. It's, like, it's great. But, like I said, like, when you're there, you're trying to get, oh my gosh. My last EDC, it was totems, shoulder rides, and them 6'5" motherfuckers. If you are 6'5", be mindful that there are quite literally people shorter than you behind you. Like, I understand you want to be in the front too, but like I'm not super tall. You know, I am 5'8" and I got big hair. Probably puts me at about 6 foot. There's been so many times at shows or raves, I've turned around and been like, oh my gosh, this girl or this guy comes up to my shoulder, and I've been like, hey, do you want to sit in front of me so that you can see?
Yeah.
So like just mindful awareness. Simple
Yeah, that's very fair. That's very fair. I mean, I can't really say much. Like, I'm pretty much, I'm like right on the border of 6 feet myself. So it's like, I've
Yeah.
definitely been there where it's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, there's a short person I'm blocking from seeing this amazing production I'm looking at. But and I'm also the type of person that stands at the rail because I like I mentioned before, I love the rail. So it's a little bit harder, but I always try to let them like squeeze in. We can just like vibe together, rock out together. But I definitely see where you're coming from. It's definitely not an easy thing to. It's a hard thing to work around. You know, you have like we said, a huge crowd of people, all different heights. It's.
I didn't ask to be tall.
No one asked to be tall, but we also try to be as considerate as possible.
Exactly.
And that's just kind of what it comes down to, is just being considerate to the people around you. Now, the only other thing I want to talk about that I know it's a very fun conversation for you. Before we get into the fun parts, what are your thoughts on rave or festival days?
You got me, son. Do they work? Sometimes. Are they chaotic? Absolutely. But it can be a lot of fun.
I feel like that's what it stems from. It stems from like that idea of just like having fun. I mean, I'm not condoning going off and cheating on your partner if that's what it is. Like if you're not into that lifestyle, but like, you know, if you're single or if you're poly or whatever it may be, you're in an open non-monogamous relationship. Like having a rave day seems like it could be fun. Like, it seems like it could just be like, oh, I'm not here with my partner or I'm alone. Like having some connection here and there, or just some general fun away from home. Like
there's so many different levels to it. I feel like too, because there's like there's your rave. Like you're standing there at the rail, and next to you is this beautiful or handsome creature, and you just are instantly locked in love. And for the next 3 days, that is who you're inseparable. It's your partner, and then you leave and things flicker out, and that's the end of it. Or there's the ones that connect there, and then you start like looking and attending other things together, and that's like that becomes your connection, like your bays.
That's your festival partner.
Festival, yeah. And then there's some people have turned into relationships and like ended up moving in together and getting married. Like there's all different situations. I've done a couple different ones. I prefer not to do long distance. It's not really my vibe, but
yeah, it's definitely not something that's easy. So,
yeah, but I have had like the little festival romance for a weekend, which is cute and lovey and fun.
Even outside of festivals, just even at local shows, like I've had a couple experiences at local shows where it's just like you said, you're just standing there, you look over, you see this like beautiful or handsome person, and you're just like infatuated for like the night, and it's just like
yeah, it happens quite a few times a night for me.
yeah. I can attest to that. Yes, it does.
That'd be spreading the love at the local show.
I mean, like for me personally, like there's been a couple times where it's just like I catch that infatuation, and then I'm just like, especially when it's with someone that attends a lot of the same shows, it's hard to get away from it. It's hard to figure it out, especially like for some a lot of us that go to these shows, we're big introverts. It's hard to express or process or like talk about those emotions or those feelings, and it makes things so weird but so good at the same time.
Yes.
So it's like, I mean, I will also say this, like I've come to the conclusion that I know for myself personally, because of like we talked about the perception of our community and of our lifestyle, no offense to the normies out there, we still love you. But I personally don't think I could date outside of the community anymore. Like, I just feel like it's the last girl I dated, she literally thought every time I went out to a show, it was to like hook up with someone.
Yeah.
I was like, no, like I'm not hooking up with someone. I'm like non-verbal and vibing for 4 hours. I didn't know what was going on around me. Like, so it's definitely a level of understanding that goes with having a rave day or a festival day as well, because again, there's the lifestyle we live. Unless you're also in it, you may not realize what's going on or what's really happening in the scene.
And then you just kind of create your own perceptions, and that's not really fair to anybody.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that like the last thing you want is to have this perception of surrounding you that like you're going out and cheating on your partner. Like with someone that's in the community, it's a lot more. Like I said, there's a lot more understanding. It's like, yeah, I'm going to a show. Okay, have fun. If you need me, let me know. Like, but with someone that's out of it, it's literally just like, oh, what are you gonna go do drugs and have sex? It's
Right.
like, no.
You know what my ex was for me? It was choose him or choose the festival. I chose the festival. He was like, I don't want you to go. And I said, why? And he said, well, people are going to look at you. I said, okay, and I'm going to look at them too. And I said, in my realistic ideal situation, I want a partner that wants to do these things with me.
Like, 100%.
Like, that is my
100%.
desire, my dream, you know what I mean? And that's what I would love. And he said, I could never. And I said, why? He said, because I would fight anybody that looks at you. And that was it. And then he tried to tell me I had to give away my tickets, not sell them, and just not go. And like, I was like, that is not for me. I went to Rolling Loud, I went to Disney, and then I went to EDC Orlando. And do you know who was no longer in my life? That man.
Like I said, I mean, it's definitely a level of perception and understanding that needs to go with the lifestyle. And it's very hard to find someone outside of the community that truly does understand or vibes with that.
Yes.
Which is like what I said, like I definitely would prefer to find someone in the community because it would just make things easier, smoother, more consistent, less worry on both sides, less concern. Especially because not only, like you said, people look. I mean, just because you're looking doesn't mean you're touching, but
nor is it consent for you to think that it's okay to assault somebody either, because what we wear does not constitute whether we want
definitely
touch or not.
And that is a big thing that we're going to be talking about in a future episode.
Mm-hmm.
But consent in the community is very big, as we know. We all are very big on consent. But not only is it, like I said, that perception understanding, but when you have someone to go to these things with, it's a completely different level of enjoyment and a different style of enjoyment to be able to share your life beyond the normalcy outside of the shows and festivals.
To share like the connection and like for me, it's such a deep like healing like Enzo, for instance, is gonna be such a healing side, and to share that with a partner who I share so much of my other life with, it means a lot. And if I never have that, that's okay.
All right, so all right. Funny festival moment, right? The way I met Dev. So I met Dev.
We talked about this.
I know, but it's now that we're talking about festivals, it just makes it funny because we're just like, yo, like.
Alright, we'll go.
But the way I met Dev was literally because I was kind of crushing on her best friend, and I planned to meet her best friend at a festival. So we met up, and I got introduced to Dev. Which, funny enough, your best friend said that you were going to be like my wing woman and try to help me find a rave bay. Clearly that didn't happen.
We're still on the mission.
Clearly that did not happen at the time. But it's funny because you were such, no offense, but you were such an afterthought in the moment because obviously like my focus was elsewhere.
Right. No shade.
But
no disrespect.
It's funny to think.
I ain't everyone's cup of tequila.
I ain't disagreeing. But no, like it's funny to think like how things have changed. Like I don't even talk to her anymore, and now like we're close as fuck.
We call like 8 times a day.
I know. So it's just funny thinking about like where things have been, where things could have gone.
He didn't even remember. Like we talked on Radiate for days, and he was like, "Wait, we met at Breakaway." Like yeah.
Yeah, like. It was really funny because I remember I clicked on your profile, I was looking at your picture, I was like, you look mad familiar.
You know, we literally met.
Yeah, and I was like, wait.
And now that's my motto. Like my mojo. That's the word. That's my mojo. I've been introduced to one of Q's friends 3 times.
Yes,
3 times.
Yes, you have.
Like, hi, nice to meet you. Like the genuine like first introduction. 3 times.
Well, twice. It was twice. And then the third time was supposed to be at Excision, but I'm not gonna lie, he kind of fell back for that one.
He was there, that's why we got an intro.
he did you guys? Oh yeah, because I remember
That was the third one.
Yeah, I didn't think because like even me like I barely saw him at Excision.
No, at the beginning.
He like
was
said
wearing a white shirt, right?
no. I think he was wearing a black shirt at Excision.
Questionable. We'll ask him.
I know you met him at.
I definitely met him
you
at
met him
Excision.
New Year's Eve. You met him at Levity.
Yeah, and Excision was the third.
Hey, I mean, is what
Yeah,
it
he
is.
was there with that.
Yeah, no, it's funny because a lot of my stories around the one festival I've been to for 2 years in a row, it just revolves around random coincidences and meeting random people, and just like the stories that revolve around them.
I do have a funny festival story.
Ooh, please do tell.
2021,
Mm-hmm.
I met this security guard and he saved in my phone as security. It's spelled wrong. I was so drunk. It's spelled like all types of effed up, but it says security guard. And he was asking, this man was begging for my phone number, okay? Like, begging. And you know me, I love me my white chocolate.
Oh, we know.
Was not a white chocolate man, okay? So.
If you are a firefighter, hit her up.
I got a fire you could put out. And it's not my heart. Anyway. So, he was like, really wanted my phone number, and I just really wanted some content. Like, some funny, like, make people laugh. So, like, gesturing to him, and I was like, listen, I'll give you, and I have a video, I'll see if I can find it. And I have a video, and I'm like, I'll give you my number, but you have to do a dance for me. So he does like a little shimmy, and I'm like, no, like, I'm like this. And so he did it back. And I gave him my phone number. I was very dry. Like, obviously, I was not planning on texting this man, but like, I convinced him to do some pretty funny shit for my phone number. I said, I will, but you got to do something for me. I saw him the next year. A year later, I went back, and me and Z are real queens, and he was working a different stage, but he recognized me and took very good care of me. Anytime I needed a water, if I had to just like wanted to place any of my stuff on the over, like just to like have it held, like he was there grabbing it and putting it down for me. It was funny, like I got the princess treatment, and all I had to do was make him do a shimmy, like alright, the best.
And I will say, like, there are certain security people that I've seen at even just some venues, that like if you find some way to connect with them,
yeah.
they take that to heart. Like if they see that you're a decent human being, because I swear they just assume at first everyone's gonna be a douche.
Yeah.
And if you show them like, hey, listen, that's not me. We're cool people. I'm cool with you. You cool with me. They will take care of you. I love that. I really do. It just like, it's at some point it's like they're kind of a part of the community too. I find that adorable.
I got to drive a little drone at Coachella. It had a dinosaur and it was a camera. It was pretty cool.
That was funny.
Yeah. That's my favorite part, is like talking to the EMTs, the police, who be looking fine as hell in them uniforms. But I like to chat with them, you know, like they enjoy being there too, just as much as we do.
Oh yeah, for sure. I see them bopping their heads like.
I heard the E-Forest, the Michigan police, it's like a lottery to like get on to the E-Forest like
detail.
Yeah, and they look forward to it.
Yeah,
so,
I would
like,
too.
I think that's so dope.
Listen, if I was there too, I'd be sitting there. I'd be one of the first ones like, yo, put my name in 45 times. Like, come on, please, get me there.
Really? I'd become a cop to work for us. That's it.
Yeah, but no, I definitely find the moments and experiences that we get to have in these events, whether they be just a local show or a festival, to be some of the most rewarding and memorable times that I've had in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great thing to continue to look forward to and continue to build and continue to accumulate.
I can't wait for more crazy, fun, cringe moments.
Listen, I got a great picture of you that we could put on. We could put on this cast from the Shrek Rave. All right. Listen, we had some fun times.
I don't know about this picture.
Oh, I sent it to you. You know about it. It's nothing too crazy. It's perfectly PG. Don't worry. The kids can see it. But
Probably about as PG as it gets.
yes, there's not much else PG that I will have pictures of. the stuff that that you can see at these shows can definitely become rated R very quickly.
Including my outfits every single time.
Hey, Shrek Rave outfit was definitely at worst PG-13.
I had to dress for the normies and to fit their attire. We were 3 blind mice.
Yeah.
It's cute.
Yeah, with the glasses we had, I definitely couldn't see shit. So those are some blackout glasses.
We were some blind mice in there. I had to pull them up to see.
Yeah, but hey, I mean, it was still a fun time. We always have a good time at these shows. We always make good memories.
It's just a good experience and have fun and like enjoy each other's company, and we did that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
All right, thank y'all for joining us this week. It was a blast talking about festivals, and as we hop into festival season, stay tuned for the takeovers, the rave fits, the candy preparations.
We will be posting on IG. Make sure y'all follow. We'll make sure we drop a link in it.
We'll be throwing everything at you.
Yeah, we're going to have a great time. We're very much looking forward to continuing this journey with y'all.
This was Candy and Chaos, where sleep schedules are fake, serotonin is currency, and the bass controls our lives.
We're Devin the Goose, and if you've ever lost your voice at a set, made friends in the crowd, or chased the rail at 3 a.m., you're home and we love you. The party never stops.
We'll see you guys next week.